Alright. Quick comic review, although how quick it will be at the end of the day is up to. We shall see. But without further ado, let's get into it. No real introduction needed other than this is Conquerors. Spider-Man Kazuma is yet another manga that I'm not too terribly impressed with. Manga in general has not grabbed me the way it has grabbed many others. I do understand what people like about manga, but that does not mean that I gravitate towards manga. I couldn't even tell you who my favorite manga was because I've read some of them. I for the longest time I said Alita Battle Angel. Reread that and I was like, yeah, it's good, but also it's just I have the same issues with Elite Battle Angel I do with manga. I also do with manga, so can't really say that that's any better if I have the same issues with Elite Battle Angel I have with manga in general. But this one I would say is worse than manga is usually, but not too much. It's not my cup of tea at all, and I don't think I'm going to check out book 2. 5 out of 10. 5.5 out of 10. Cemeterians did improve on a reread. I consider this to be. I still consider it to be the least good of Daniel Krause's Vault Comics work, but it was a lot better than I remember being. I remember being very largely unimpressed with this book, to the point where I almost consider it to be disappointing, because I almost want to say I read this after I read Autumnal, and Autumnal is really good. Autumnal by Daniel Krause is one of my favorite horror comics of all time. I've only read that once. That's how good Autumnal is. I cannot wait to reread Autumnal. But Cemeterians I just kind of consider to be the black sheep, if you will, and not just saying oh well, Autumnal you love so much, so obviously Cemeterians is going to pale in comparison. Even taking that factor out, I still would say that Cemeterians was disappointing. Now it's not even back then. I did have some strengths. I did still think the atmosphere was pretty good. And here, every positive I had was doubled, so doubly so. I feel that way double that, and go to the next person. But also all the complaints I had, most of them are non-existent with my reread. I did not consider this to be boring at all when rereading this, and that's impressive when you consider that each issue was double length. And I also really like the mystery. I'm going to keep it vague because I don't want to give away anything. So I want you guys going in completely blind like I did, and just by positive word of mouth. That being the only context you have for Cemeterians. The only complaint is still I do feel it's just a bit undercooked. Maybe they need a little bit more. It's not quite an 8.5 out of 10. Even that, honestly, I'd probably still give it a 7.5 in general. It still has some issues with it that really hold us back from being really great, but none that are too egregious this time around, especially this time around. So yeah, 7.5 out of 10. Again, it's also, you do feel a length in certain points here. I would say, I'd be surprised if each issue was any less than 35 pages. We really do feel each page. The last 10 pages, I would say. In fact, the first issue took me a really long time to read because I kept taking breaks, kept getting distracted, and it wasn't just getting distracted. It was also okay, this is a lot. Or was it the second issue? No, first issue. But still really great, unique story too. That's the main positive. I'm not oh, it's a lot like this or like that. No, I really can't tell you what it reminds me of because it really doesn't remind me of anything. It is pretty damn unique, but still undercooked. It's unique but undercooked. I think that's a perfect way to describe Cemeterians. Ronin Island. This is volume 1 and is really damn good. Greg Pak brings his A game to even his indie work, which makes sense because he doesn't have any drawbacks, and it shows. Really damn captivating, 8 out of 10. And I would argue that this is okay for kids. The language is very PG. The violence is, the artwork is kind of cartoony, so the violence isn't that shocking at all. I would say so. Just for the violence, this would get a PG-13 rating, but very light PG-13. So I do recommend that kids that you if you are looking for the next comic to get your kids, that Ronin Island may just be that one you get. May just be the one that you get. Like I would say, like 8 and up. Giant Days Volume 10 just keeps on going and keeps on getting really damn good. There's overarching plots that were finally concluded because I'm sure they'll come back in some shape or form, but it wasn't pulling it in like not pulling it. It wasn't pushing it to the side or anything like that, which I feared it was going to do. It did finally conclude certain plot lines I wanted to see concluded sooner rather than later, and it is concluded in a way that I wasn't super disappointed with. But this is like, again, it's a sitcom turned graphic novel, but without any of the tropes, without any of the tropes that you don't like in sitcoms. It feels really real. But I say sitcoms because it has that slice of life feel, and I really liked about this comic. And these characters feel like they're real people at times, honestly, like they're based off real people. I mean, 9 out of 10. Oh, and 8.5 out of 10 for Ronin Island. Slam the Next Jam is really damn good all the way through. I remember not liking half of Slam book 1, but book 2 is much better. 8 out of 10. This, like with Giant Days, is just like that kind of slice of life, easygoing read. There's no apocalypse. Not apocalypse. What do you call it? There's no apocalypse twist. It's not like, oh, it's about zombies, or nope, it's just a slice of life. It's about seeing these girls being rollerbladers and seeing the trials and tribulations. Just like how Giant Days is, but for college students. And you don't have to be into I'm not into rollerblading myself at all. You don't have to be in that to enjoy Slam. The series Slam. Our Encounters with Evil. I'm going to review this really quickly because this was a quick read. It is really good. If you like Mike Mignola, you'll like this. It's just really fast, and I kind of feel like when I finished it, I was like, how am I already done with this book? Like, I almost wanted to read it again. And honestly, I think I do need to read it again. Miss Truesdale and the Fall of Hyperborea. Even better the second time around, and like, honestly, if I gave this a 7 out of 10, it deserves a 9 out of 10. It is that good. Such a captivating read. One of the best Hellboy spin-offs I've ever read. Probably my favorite Mike Mignola book that I've read recently. It is that good. And it has perfect pacing, too. And a really damn good story, too. I love when comics can go into darker elements, but not be what it shouldn't be. Like, it doesn't lose its identity of being a Hellboy spin-off. So it still has that Hellboy feel, while also telling some pretty heavy stuff. I'm not going to give away what it is because I didn't even remember going in, so I don't want to spoil it. Again, going in blind. Fantastic Four: Resurrection of Galactus. Yeah, there's a reason why this was $5 at my local comic shop. I think like $5.99, but there's a reason why this is on sale at my local comic shop, and that's because no one could sell this, and then they had to put it at a cheap price, and I picked it up because back then it was quantity over quality. But honestly, the last 2 issues make up for, especially issue 50, make up for some of the overall complaints I have with this book. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to read this again anytime soon. 5 out of 10. Batman White Knight. Really damn good. We need more comics like this that push the envelope that aren't Black Label. 8.5 out of 10. It's just as good as everyone says it is. Actually, I want to separate these when I'm thinking on it. Make sure I gotta return these books. That's why I'm doing this like right now, ASAP. Right stat now. All right. So both Deceased books 1 and 2. Book 1 had what I like to call the Black Science / Rose effect, where Volume 1 I did not like as much as I liked Volume 2 of Deceased. But Rose, it was also Volumes 2 and 3. It got better as it went along. And that's how I felt about Deceased too. But this time around, like with when we read Rose and Black Science Volume 1, I no longer had those complaints, and it was like all around good. Like even volume one, like basically from page one, it was really damn good. And I did not have any complaints I had last one. It's just as good as book two, but still book two, like it has some more like has a stronger story, and it has a strong like overall it's strong. DC's Unkillables has a stronger pacing, and especially with this being double sized. This is 3 issues. This is 7 issues. Actually, 8 issues. They have the one shot. This is 8 issues. This is 3 issues. So as you can tell, with the thickness of Unkillables, quote unquote thickness, with having 3 issues, each issue is double length, and I never felt that. Never, at all felt the length of, and that's double the size, mind you, of DC's Unkillables. And obviously not with deceased. Actually, there is one shot that is 48 pages, and I didn't lay for the length there either. So really damn good stuff. It's just as good as everyone says it is. It's not any less. Not any less so. Hell, maybe even better than people are saying it is. 9 out of 10 for both. It's not like that much different. How I felt about book 2. It's just like, again, if I had to tell you, if I had to pick my favorite, it would be book 2. Tokyo Ghost. I already reviewed. I'll do a quick review because I just showed it. I liked it, but it's not as good as other recommended books. It's like honestly, it's kind of mid, kind of, but still like good. I still give like a 7 out of 10. At that point. Last but not least is Batman: City of Madness, and this is what I love this is why I love DC Black Label so much, because we're able to get books like this that we'd never in a million years get, and if we got, they have to censor here and there, and they have to cut back here and there, and or take it out of continuity and have to be a DC Elseworlds comic, because this is probably one of the most, like, this gets back to Batman's roots of being gothic, and I really like that. I feel like a lot of Batman books I read, I finish them and I'm thinking, well, wait, that's right too. Batman's a gothic character. Like, I'll find that out and it'll be almost a shock to me to remember that, because, well, there are gothic elements in Batman books that I've read before. I just really feel like this one really captures it, and captures it exponentially. Christian Ward is definitely as good an artist, or definitely as good as a writer as he is an artist, if not more so. 9 out of 10, a must read. And that, as I say, is that. Finally, I get to return these books and not be in debt with how many books I've checked out. I hope you guys don't mind me by that, because I'm not explaining it. That's it.